We are expecting a few more people, but I will go ahead and kick off with the introduction, and then hopefully by the time I hand over to Rachel, everyone will have joined. So I'm Lisa Correlson, I'm Chief Exec of Canterbury's Business Improvement District. Rachel's our Head of Marketing and Communications. Rachel, you probably know everyone, and Emily is our Team Administrator, and we're all in the same office, so we'll mute when the other is speaking so you don't get that kind of background noise. Welcome to today's session on Visit Canterbury. We are so happy to be finally doing this with all of you, and we'll be hosting more sessions, of course, like this in the future. We have been doing some work over the past few years, looking at the National Destination Management Organization Review, the Dubois White Paper, looking around at lots of different models around the country about how websites like Visit Canterbury can be run. I'm really pleased that now we do have a newly relaunched Visit Canterbury. We've just been through the first stage of that development, and I'll explain that briefly in a moment. We as Canterbury BID are now the administrative hub for Visit Canterbury, which still covers the whole of the Canterbury District. And the reason for that, of course, is that we know that our visitors, so whether those are tourists or locals, your clients, your customers, anyone who wants to come and enjoy the Canterbury area, they want to know what's going on, of course, in Canterbury, but in Whitstable, in Herne Bay, in Tankerton, around the whole of the district. And we know that in order to bring in more footfall, more stays, that it's really important that Visit Canterbury reflects the whole of the district. We are working with people in the coastal towns, as well as businesses and attractions all over the district, and that's really important as well, and we'll talk through how that's different now in this version of Visit Canterbury. But I suppose what I really wanted to stress is that we're delighted to be in this position, that we have a Visit Canterbury that is now more accessible to everyone. There's no charge for listings. We want to get all the content we possibly can to make sure that we're talking to all of our audiences. It is fundamentally at the moment a tourism website, but of course there are also aspects of it that are geared towards education and making sure people who are interested in studying in Canterbury can see themselves reflected on the website, and there's content for them also. And we have ambitions to use the content on the website for inward investment, so to attract new business to the district. So the way it's set up now is that Canterbury BID is the administrative hub. Canterbury City Council are still helping to fund this, so they're a founding partner as well. And there are other partners who are putting money in to make sure that this website can be the best it can be. We have, Rachel will talk us through the different phases in more detail, but last summer we went through a content migration from the old platform that was based at Canterbury City Council to the new platform, which is a back end of the Visit Kent website, and that means we avoid duplication, and all of our content will get amplified on Visit Kent. So that's happened, and then we did a soft launch in the run-up to Christmas. So really keeping a narrow focus in that first stage of development only on Christmas, so that we didn't want to be all things to all people before we'd had these kind of stakeholder meetings and workshops. And we'll be entering into stage 2 of the development shortly. And this session today is very much about how you can get the most of the new Canterbury Visit Canterbury website, excuse me. But we'll also be listening to the kind of things, the questions you raise, the ideas you have, and that can feed into the next stage of development. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Rachel. We were going to have Sinead Hannah with us today. She's our content manager on Visit Canterbury. She's had a family emergency, so she won't be with us, but rest assured you're in good hands. Rachel's going to take you through what Visit Canterbury has to offer, how you can engage with it, how you can make the most of it for your business, and there'll be time for questions. So just think of this like a workshop over the next 40 minutes. Rach, over to you.
Thanks, Lisa. Yes, so this has been quite a while in the making, and we're really pleased with where we've got to so far. As Lisa said, this is a work in progress. Please consider it like that. It's a work in progress. We need everyone's feedback. We need thoughts from everybody in order to make this the best it can be. So what we do and want to encourage is for everyone to use it, see if you can break it. The more you can break, the more we know we can fix. Please look at your own content, think about things that you'd like added. We are very happy to change photographs, change text, whatever you would like. You just need to let us know, because the whole point of this is that we've now got a website where we are showing all the opportunities that you can have when you come to the Canterbury District. Now, I don't know if you remember back to the way Visit Canterbury was running prior to us taking it over. And we worked very closely with Catherine Herndon on this project as well, as we started to move towards a new site. And she had obviously done a fantastic job as the Visit Canterbury representative. But I think we all remember that the website was rather restrictive in its opportunities and its marketing platform. So we are doing everything we can to make this a much wider, richer website. And I think the most important thing is that we're trying to, it's not just about a membership. So we're not going out saying that people need to be members in order to have a particular position on the website. We just want it to be for everybody and for all opportunities that are coming through, whether it's a tiny sort of experience in a particular shop, or it could be a huge choral concert at the cathedral that everyone wants to shout about. So that's where we're going with it. I think we've all talked about it, us being a world-class cultural heritage destination. So being able to talk about events, but also talking about the other things you can do, all the exciting things you can do in particular locations. And certainly from when we'd had meetings with accommodation providers, having an events calendar that's easy to access and to see what you want to promote the city for was really important. So all of these things we're trying to bring into the website. Like I say, there are still things to change, but I'm going to just go through the website briefly just to show you how we're hoping to develop those different pages. As Lisa said, it is live, but when it's live, it's even better because you can play around with it even more. And like I say, things can be changed very, very quickly. So I'm just going to share my screen and we'll go on a little whistle stop tour of the new website. Now, I would like to highlight that we are absolutely representing the district. It's not just the city. So what we are looking to do is that obviously as Canterbury BID, we tend to have a lot of intel ourselves on what's going on in Canterbury because we're dealing with our local businesses a lot. But we have got people who are going to be working in Whitstable, Tankerton and Herne Bay as well, doing the same sort of thing, speaking to businesses, looking at what events are coming up, making sure that the content for blog posts and things like that are always up to date, and we've got plenty of things represented for the whole district. Now, when it comes to, obviously, we've got plenty of other areas. It's not just the towns and cities. You know, we've got some fantastic vineyards, we've got wildwood, we've got various reasons to go for walks in the countryside, the area of outstanding natural beauty, woodland, etc. So we will be trying to bring in all of those stories and work with as many of you as possible. So here is the homepage. And on there, we've tried to keep it fairly general, but we have got an easy way to get through to finding events. We are doing listings for all the businesses in the district. So there's a shop and eat section, places to stay, and see and do. We also are updating blog posts twice a month. So we'll have, obviously at the moment, being Valentine's Day, there's romantic things to do in Canterbury. And just in case you were planning to propose tonight, the top thing to do is to go to the cathedral and pop the question tonight. There we go, top tip. Half-term fun in the city, but obviously that, if I click on here, I'll just show you, it says city, but we are trying to make sure that we cover as many different things as we possibly can. Obviously the Peter Rabbit exhibition at the BID is pretty popular at the moment, and it's running all the way through to Easter, so we've got plenty of relevant content there. Anyway, so the homepage is there just to give you a brief overview of what you will potentially see as you go through the website. So we've got the blog posts here, and then something that we've always felt is that the images that you get on Instagram of the district are amazing, possibly way better than anything we could take. So we have a gallery of the Instagram images that are coming through, and you can see what people are saying about Canterbury. But there's some pretty fantastic pictures there. There we go, we've got the bears, excellent. And obviously start planning your journey, trying to give a little bit of an idea of where Canterbury is. I think one of the things that has come through from a lot of destination marketing reports that we've had, especially through Visit Kent, is that sometimes when they're international visitors, they don't even know where we are in England. So just being able to show where we are from London, and then also where the district covers Whitstable, Herne Bay, and the areas around it, just to help get that first initial idea of where we are. So that's the homepage. If we go to see and do, we've managed to get separate pages for Canterbury, Whitstable, Herne Bay, villages and countryside. For those that are thinking of things to do, obviously finding events is also an option there, but there's also a search. And what we have done in things to do is to create, courtesy of Visit Kent, and this comes through their website, various ways of searching for what might be fun to do, and categorizing as well. So we could look at, let's go for heritage and gardens, and within that you can search in other formats as well. So whether it's a country park, Liz, as you can see, the Canterbury Quiz Trail is up there, and Jen, the Canterbury Guided Tours. This is very lucky when I'm pressing on the buttons. So we've got various different breakdowns of things you can do, and then each of our destinations has a dedicated page with details and links straight through to the website. What we are keen to do is to make sure that we link through to your site, because your site has the most up-to-date information. So what we've taken away is the listings of how much it costs to go in, to enter, and opening times, because I know that these can change, and we won't necessarily be able to keep on top of that. So we automatically link through to the destination page. The other thing that we have done is to bring through any events that are happening in that particular destination. So for Canterbury Cathedral, they have got a Lego exhibition coming up. So we put the Lego exhibition as an event, and then we've linked it through to the cathedral. So it's not just about coming to see the cathedral, it's about all the fun things you can do at the cathedral as well on one particular date. Something that has been highlighted to us in the past is that if you've got a venue, for example, the cathedral, you know that the cathedral has been here for a very long time and it's not planning to go anywhere, hopefully, which means that you haven't got necessarily a reason to come and visit right now. So by highlighting the events that are coming up, hopefully people will have more than one reason to come, and to come now, as opposed to leaving it for a year because they know that the cathedral will be there in a year. Right, so that's our see and do. I'm just going to go to the what's on, because as you can see, we're linking through. So I'll just press on one of these what's ons, and the full details of each event are on here, along with email address for booking, telephone number, or if there's a website for booking, we link that through. One of the things that we really, really want to encourage everyone to do with this website is to send us your events. Now, if you scroll to the bottom of the website, you'll see submit your event. And if I click on here, it means that you can fill in the form with all of your details, and those will go onto the Visit Canterbury website. We do a little check just to make sure it's not, I don't know, an electrics company in Essex trying to advertise for boiler installation or something. So we do a final approval check. And if we think it can be relevant to Visit Kent as well, the event will not only be on the Visit Canterbury website, it'll be on the Visit Kent website too. And that is the joy of working with Visit Kent on this website, because there's no duplication. They can just pull things straight through, and it saves you and us the extra job of getting things through to their website. So there we go. That is your events section. And I'm just going to go on to what's on so you can see the sort of list we have at the moment. We have ongoing events at the top. So things like the Peter Rabbit trail that's going on through till April. Rather than having it taking over lots and lots of sections down in this part, we put it up at the top and people can see that it's on for a particular amount of time. Those events that are sort of less than a week will be appearing down here. And we've got 3 pages worth of events at the moment, and each one you can read more by clicking on it and then going through to the website. So what I would really like to encourage you or anyone that you know that's putting on events, please list them there. It's free marketing. We will have it on Visit Canterbury, we'll have it on Visit Kent, but we are really keen for as much event information as possible, so please do send that through. Right, so that was see and do and what's on. Places to stay. Now I know that we've got several hotels on the call today. This is we've got an introduction page, and then we have search for places to stay. At the moment we have sectioned it out, so we've got featured and then we've got the full list. Now you can see there are 18 pages worth of accommodation for the area. A lot of accommodation will have already been uploaded to Visit Kent, and it's been fed through to us because that is accommodation within the district. Some of these can be short stay lets. It's not all hotels and B&Bs. It is placed in alphabetical order. I don't know, has Ursula arrived on the call, Lisa? So 7 Longport benefits from being a number 7 instead of an A. But each hotel, we are putting as much information as possible. There are image options, text, various tags. You're able to say whether you've got a star rating. And in fact, if I just go out of this one and we choose, say, let's go for the abode. Let's just see what it says. There we go. So you get your 4-star rating, and it covers all the things that you can get there. So we've got the restaurant, cafe, tea shop, credit cards accepted, etc. What I would really appreciate anyone on this call who has accommodation to do is to please check your listing. We are very happy to change anything that's incorrect or just additional information that you'd like added, or more photos. We'd love more photos, never have enough photos. So please send us over accommodation information, anything that you see that might be wrong. Check the links, check the telephone number, and just please let us know, because we are obviously, like I say, this is a work in progress. So there we go. That's my caveat for everything now. It's a work in progress. So that's places to stay. And like I said, there's a search, and you can, as with other things, you've got the location, and you can also search in terms of category. So from holiday parks through to hotels. And you can even search by the rating as well. And again, if you're an accommodation provider, check that you're coming up on those searches. Make sure that we have got you in exactly the right place. So that's my special shout out. Thank you. Right, moving on to shop and eat. As I said, one of our big aims is to have a list of all the businesses and restaurants, and so that's shops and restaurants that are appealing to visitors. I think I should just caveat that. But we want to be able to represent as many businesses as possible, so that people can look and appreciate the great variety that we have. So I'm just going to show you the search function on this. We had a meeting with the Visitor Information Centre, and we were talking to all the staff there. They find it very useful to have a split. Now I'm just going to use this as an example. So Canterbury, to look at the categories and to be able to say, for example, right, food and drink, but then the categorization of that food. So actually you want to find some burger places. So where can you get a burger in Canterbury? and they'll come up. Say Latin American, let's see, take the burgers out. There we go. So we have a way of categorizing, and if you have a guest, for example, or a visitor who's saying, oh, can you tell me if there's anywhere that you can get a Mexican dinner? And if you want to look on the website, here we go, the listing is all there. The process of getting all of the shopping and the food and drink linked up is quite lengthy, because there's an awful lot of businesses, but I would say we're about 50% of the way through. And again, if you're a business and you're on this webinar, then please check that we've got the right details for you. For the restaurants and shops, we just have a very simple listing, because the most important thing is that people go to your website and have a look at your menu and contact you about booking. So we keep it very, very simple in terms of text, and then straight through with a visit to the website. So we've done what's on, plan your trip. We have pulled all the information we had from both Visit Kent and Visit Canterbury, the previous website. So hopefully we've covered every possible way you might be able to get to Canterbury. We have highlighted the visitor information centres for Canterbury, Whitstable and Herne Bay, so that people know where to go if they are looking to have a chat with someone in person. And then if I scroll down, we've also uploaded all the PDFs of the different attraction maps that people might be interested in. This is particularly useful for us because we get inquiries through the website of people who are coming to visit, and we can just link through to the trails and the PDFs that they can download. As a bid, just in case there are people on the call that don't know the other things that we do, obviously we run My Canterbury, but we also do a shopping map for Canterbury. So we hand those out for free to the Canterbury businesses and hotels and accommodation. And a digital version of that is here for people to have a look at. We have got a widget here for people if they're planning to get the train down. Obviously, we want to encourage sustainable travel. So there is the widget for train routes. We've got details for all of the bus and coach travel with links through for all the timetables. And we've also got the breakdown of all the car parks, including the parking charges. Now, luckily, this is fed through from Visit Kent, so Visit Kent have to keep an eye on the parking charges and making sure that their site is up to date. So that's saving us a little bit of time. But all of them are listed here, which I hope means that it'll be handy for everyone to pass over to other people. Oh yes, including the park and rides as well. Okay. Right, I hope I'm not making you feel sick with all this scrolling. I do apologise. We have got Inspire Me, which is all the blog posts. So if someone says to you, well, I'm bringing my dog and I want to go for a lovely afternoon around Canterbury, there's a blog on the best places to take your dog. There's a blog on cocktails around the city. There's the romantic things to do, family days out. There's even Canterbury's best bookshops. So places to go and find your perfect read. And we will keep adding more. So if you find that you are looking to provide visitors with some interesting content, things to do, please do take a look at the ideas here. And as I say, we are obviously, being Canterbury BID, we have a much stronger idea of what's going on in the city. But as we progress, and with the people represented in Whitstable and Herne Bay and Tankerton, this is just going to keep growing. We are already working with Wildwood and getting press releases about things that are happening over there as well. And we just want to be kept in the loop of any exciting events that you think we should be putting into these sorts of posts. And then just the final one, we have been working quite a lot with the universities. And what we wanted to do was to make sure that the residents, the new residents, who admittedly might only be here for 3 years, but when they come, they know what studying in Canterbury is like. This is a page that will grow because we are asking for the universities and the students to give us more information that we can put on here so it becomes a really useful page for them, but we certainly don't want to feel the universities to feel like they're not included as residents or as visitors. And actually the visiting friends and relative market is absolutely brilliant, and we want as many students to bring their parents down for shopping trips, please, and a lovely meal out and a trip to Whitstable. I think that connection and bringing people that you know to a place that you're really proud to be studying in is great for the district. So we are going to continue to work with the universities and see how we can build on this page to make sure that students feel welcome. So that is the website. There are just a couple of bits at the bottom. Again, I'm sorry, I've got to scroll, so I'll do it slowly. Here we go. We have plan your visit at the bottom. We've got your submit your event, which I talked about. Get in touch. So if anyone, we will share the email address to get hold of us, obviously, we'll put it in the chat, but there's also a way of getting in touch through the website. And we also have a venue hire and conference page. Now, again, if you have space for conferences or even meetings, please, and you're not mentioned on this list, please get in touch and tell us, because we're working with Visit Kent on now, Lisa, is it called Meetup? The Meetup campaign. They've created a whole new website dedicated to get people down to the district, well, to Kent, but I'd like to think mainly our district, for their away days, for big conferences, and they are looking for opportunities and reasons to get people to come to us. So if you can think of additional places for venue hire, please let us know, because that will really help us when we're talking about pulling people in. So that is the website as it stands. I'm going to see if I press here, I'm hoping we might just go straight through to Instagram. Is that working? It is, great. So not only are we running the website, we are running socials. We are discovering, and I'm sorry to say this because I think we've spent a lot of time talking about marketing places by having people in pictures, and that still does resonate. However, on Instagram, people only seem to be interested in really, really good pictures of landscapes. They really engage with the unusual, the epic placemaking photos that you can get. Less so about product placement, less so about people. Although, I mean, bears, obviously, big fan of the bears. So what we're asking is that we love content, and obviously we would love you to be taking pictures of your business, but within a placemaking view. So rather than being a photograph of somebody in your shop, maybe there's one of your products, but maybe it's with a view of where your business is. It's something that gives it more than just a sort of sole business marketing picture. And those are the kind of pictures that we would love you to tag us into. So the ones that really make you go, wow, I want to be there. Those are the pictures we'd love you to tag Visit Canterbury into. The other thing we're really, really keen on is getting video content, so reels. There's a simple way of sharing with us. So if you're doing a video and you want to share it to Visit Canterbury, you don't need to tag us in. You need to make us a collaborator. Now that is an option when you're posting your reel, and it gives you the choice of putting in the names of collaborators. Put in Visit Canterbury, and it means that we can actually post the reel straight onto our grid. And you can see that happened here with, this was an influencer that we had coming to Canterbury for Christmas. And it just means that we can put things straight onto the grid there. So please, if you're doing any Instagram videos and you think, oh, actually that could tempt some visitors down to Canterbury, please make us a collaborator, and we will do our best to share it on the Visit Canterbury channels. We are also running Facebook, so we're doing both Facebook and Instagram, and drum roll, we are moving on to TikTok. Visit Canterbury is going to be on TikTok. We're not quite ready yet, but we will be in the next few weeks. So please keep an eye out for us on TikTok, and it'll be lovely to see what sort of take up we get from that. So I think in terms of our socials, the message is that we need content. We would love reels, we'd love videos. If you have epic pictures of Canterbury, Whitstable, Herne Bay, sea views, anything like that, woodland forest, more bears, more bison, please tag us in. But we will have to be quite selective, because obviously you can only do one post every day maximum with these things. You don't want to impact the oh, what's it called? Algorithm. That's it. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, you don't want to impact on the algorithm. So we have to be quite careful, but we're here to represent the whole district, and we want as much content as we can get. So that is social media. That is the website. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment, because I'd also just like to touch on PR, group travel, and our relationship with Visit Kent, and the plans for the year ahead. So when we took on this role for Visit Canterbury, the key was our partnership with Visit Kent, because they are the experts when it comes to travel trade, and they have very strong PR links with travel media as well. So as part of our working together, we are making sure that we're using their experience to promote Visit Canterbury. So we are working in partnership wherever possible for Canterbury to be represented through Visit Kent. And what we really want is that Visit Kent amplifies the content that we have. So that can be seen on the website. Automatically, we're putting things onto the website and they feed through to the Visit Kent website. If you think about it as with My Canterbury as our very local, hyper local, you've got Visit Canterbury, and that's representing the whole of the district to Kent and nationally. And then we've got Visit Kent, and that's representing Canterbury internationally. Okay, so that's the way we're seeing it. We're funneling outwards, and they're amplifying as much as possible. So the events being fed through to the Visit Kent website help us, which then feeds into their campaigns, their blogs throughout the year. Sinead, who sadly can't be with us today, is working on a campaign schedule with Visit Kent, so that everything we produce matches up with what they're planning to produce, and we can link through in different ways. And in terms of the bigger plans for campaigns in London, etc., those are things that we're in discussions with, and we're going to be shaping everything that we do to make sure that it's this very happy flow and amplification of what the district is doing. I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to say. I hope from that you've noted all the things you're going to do for the Visit Canterbury website now. Lots of checking, lots of testing, tagging, lots of collaborating, please. But in order for Visit Canterbury to work to its best, we just need us all working together as much as possible. So I think maybe the best thing is, Lisa, is there anything you'd like to add?
Only to say, I mean, Rachel talked us through the different basic layers that these different destination management organizations work, and just how these different layers work. But of course, we all kind of dip in and out of different layers to a certain extent. And we, of course, have the cathedral and our language schools who also do a lot of work internationally. So, we're aware of that. But there might be other areas where, we're not aware of. So we want to make sure that everyone feels that they can access, firstly, feels that they can access Visit Canterbury, and that it's working for you, but also that we're making the most of all of these opportunities that Visit Kent and beyond can offer. We want to put the Canterbury district on the map as widely as possible. So yeah, I think it would be great now if we could open up to questions, comments, ideas, feel free to put your hand up if you know where that function is in Zoom, or we actually are all on one screen, so you can also just wave. We'd love to perhaps just go around the room and get some feedback.
I'm going to pick on someone. And it's because Sandra has got her camera on and I can see her. Sandra, have you got any thoughts to add at this moment in time?
No, I don't think so. I think I asked you the other day that I was a bit concerned that has the funding been guaranteed for the next financial year from Canterbury City Council, because I know it took a little while to sort of get that funding, and I think this is why this has sort of been delayed, hasn't it, sort of the communication. But I think, Rachel, you said that yes, that has been confirmed, so you've got the money from this financial year we're in at the moment, and then from the 1st of April you've got more funding for the next financial year.
Exactly. Sorry, Lisa.
Yeah, no, I can comment just in case anyone else has that question. So Canterbury City Council is, there's some different funding pots. They are funding Visit Canterbury, and that's the overall work for Visit Canterbury. Canterbury BID is also putting money into it for particularly to fund businesses and organisations, attractions, etc. in the city. There's some additional funding that Canterbury City Council is providing that it is guaranteed for at least 3 years, but the plan is that it will go beyond that. That's for the coastal towns and rural areas. So there is ongoing funding for sure, and we're looking as well at how Visit Canterbury can take advantage of other campaigns. So there's a group that will be looking at that as well, because there could be some additional spending opportunities so that Canterbury is covered as much as possible.
Thank you.
Okay.
But the website looks great, so it's coming along really well. So yeah, visually it looks so much better.
Yeah, I feel like when we launched the destination management strategy in 2018, there was a lot of work done on the kind of images that we all needed to be presenting on our websites and social channels, and there's a lot more user-generated content as well, which is fantastic, in addition to having some photo shoots that we and others have been able to fund over the last few years. So yeah, that has definitely come on a long way.
Thank you, that's me.
Thanks, Sandra.
Right, do I need to pick on somebody else, or?
You may have, be interested to hear from retailers as well. So we were really, as Rachel said, we're busy getting all of that content on the website. We know that shopping is really important to all of our urban areas, you know, food and drink to the wider district and county for sure. But if there's anyone who had any thoughts on the retail side of things, happy to hear from you as well. And we've got Sarah from 925 and Kate from Happy and Glorious.
Actually, Kate is a great example of someone who's been putting events up onto the website. Kate, are you there?
We also appreciate some of you might be actually working, multitasking.
Kate's there. There we go. I think, sorry, Lisa, do you mind muting? Thank you. Sorry, it echoes because we're right opposite each other. So Kate has been great at putting some of her in-store events onto the site. I was hoping Kate might be able to say how she's found inputting everything. Ah, there you are. Hello.
Hello. Hi. Sorry, it's a bit dark. Hi. Yes, I love the website. I love it's very intuitive, loading my events and everything on there. It's the matter of moments, so I'm finding it really, really helpful. It's really great.
Brilliant.
I don't know what else to say. It's brilliant.
is there anything you feel that's missing from categories for the events? Like, have you looked at it and thought, oh, that doesn't quite fit into what I'm doing?
Think yes, because I think I had to put mine under arts. I think that's what I did. So it's probably more craft than it is arts. And I think there are a lot of sort of creative workshops. I know that Fitzgerald's does them, and I believe Fringe and Ginge does them, and Rock, Paper, Scissors. So there's quite a few places that do very crafty type workshops. So maybe that would be a good thing, just creativity rather than art, because it's not sort of fine art. That would be really helpful.
Absolutely, we can 100% do that. Hopefully by the next
Fabulous.
time you check the website, you'll be like, oh, yes.
Excellent.
Brilliant. But that's the sort of thing that we love to hear, because it means that we know what we're missing. And if you're thinking that, then plenty of other visitors will be thinking that as well. You know, actually, we want to do something more bespoke, something more crafts related. And as you say, I mean, some of the things that you're doing, because there's a knitting one, isn't there?
There's 2 knitting. There is a beginner's one and a fair isle. So
Isle, yes. And that's the sort of thing that definitely needs to fall under crafts. So that's brilliant. Thank you, Kate. Really appreciate that.
No worries.
Now, how about, who else should we pick on? Liz from Canterbury Quiz Trail. I'll let you come off mute. There we go. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Well, no, it looks great. It looks a lot clearer and a lot easier to use. So yeah, I'm really impressed with it. Very good.
Thank you. And how, with your work, with the trail that you're producing, is there any way you're thinking, actually, I should be appearing in this section as well as, or anything, or are you?
Not really, because I think looking at it, we're going to be, as we were before, coming up under the general things of family days out and things like that. So, and we've also got Whitstable and Herne Bay trails, which the Visitor Information Centre have got there as well. So I mean, we're very well covered there. Yeah, so we'd be reaching everybody that would be looking.
Brilliant. So I'm just making a note that we've got all of those. Thank you.
Yeah, because we're not really events based and more sort of an ongoing sort of thing. It doesn't, you know, not diary things, but we may hold events, mightn't we?
Excellent. I'll look forward to it. Thank you. Thanks, Liz. Right. So I was just thinking maybe Sandra at St Stephen's Guest House. I don't know, Sandra, are you there? Maybe not, might be dealing with clients.
Hi,
oh no, there.
Hi, sorry, I'm kind of doing 2 things at the same time. Sorry about that.
No, don't worry. Thank you, Sandra. I was just wondering about the way that the website might be able to provide information for you. Have you got any thoughts on things that aren't there, that you think actually your visitors might be asking you those questions and it would be useful for you to have that sort of information on the site?
Yes, I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't had a lot of time to look at the website, but what I've seen and you walking us through it just now, it's been brilliant. So kind of highlighting the, you know, what areas to look at and so on. And I think it looks really good and looks very intuitive. So yeah, I think it would be like you said, if I guess, you know, council say, you know, where can I go to find, you know, this sort of activity or fruit or whatever. I mean, I've been putting together a guide just for our own use for a number of years, which our guests have always found very useful, which is sort of an in-house thing. So yeah, this can definitely, you know, complement that, and it will be good for us to, you know, sometimes when you just don't know, to sort of ask you on the spot and you kind of like completely, you know, brained. It's an easy way just to go online and very quickly find out what's, you know, something that, and also just to perhaps share it also on our own website. So when they're planning their stay and they're booking, just to have a look on a link on our website, just to sort of point them in that direction too. That may be useful as well.
That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go on.
No, and the only other thing I was just going to say, so if we sort of have a look at our listing and if there are any ways, things that perhaps need updating or any ways in which it can be improved, should we just contact you or how would we do that?
Yes. I'm going to put into the chat the email address for all updates, so that you can just send things through to us and we will get that sorted out. because right now we just want it to come to us so that we can get it fixed really quickly. The great thing is that the back office of this website is very accessible and easy to use as well, so we can turn things around very quickly. So I'm just going to put that into the chat. Lisa, could you take over for a moment?
Yeah, one of the other things, and I'm thinking out loud a little bit here, but when I think back to the research we've done to the last destination management plan, we were really strongly encouraged to produce not only user-generated content, but content from a local perspective. So we're also building that into the stage 2 development process. And by that, I mean, when someone's thinking about coming to Canterbury, actually, whether they're a local or a tourist or relocating or looking to study, whatever it is, they don't want it to appear as though it's Visit Canterbury or Canterbury BID telling them. They want to hear from either you know, a local, someone who lives here, who's actually all of you, or from, you know, a business themselves. So Sandra, when you're talking about that kind of content you produce in-house for your guests, that's the kind of thing they must love, because it's from you and you live here. So it's like a personal recommendation. It's the same concept as all of us would prefer personal recommendations from our friends before we make a decision to go to a new restaurant or, you know, to book a holiday somewhere. And it's that kind of content that we will be, and those kind of features we want to be building in. And it's things like, you know, podcasts with businesses, kind of living like a local, you know, that insider knowledge. And we'll be building that, already building that into the blogs. And we want to build that into reels, video content as well, maybe podcast type content. So that's any content you have like that, or that you're sharing on your sites that we can amplify through Visit Canterbury and even potentially Visit Kent. It's that kind of insider personal recommendation oriented content. So it sounds like you're all generally happy with the direction of travel. Although if you go away from this and have any questions, Rachel's just put in the chat how you can contact us. We will, and again, we're in a development phase. We were happy enough to launch it. It got to where we had, you know, more than a minimum viable product before Christmas, but that was focused on Christmas. And now it's all to play for, and it's really exciting where we can go from here, and we can involve everyone in that journey. So the stage 2 development process is happening, and you know, let's keep in touch as that unfolds over the next several months. And we'll also be putting out news, so you know, the kind of content and images and things like that, some of which we've touched on today, but things that we'll be looking for.
There's just one question that came through the chat, which was a very good point, about newsletters. Now, I do remember Visit Canterbury had just started building up a mailing list, newsletter mailing list. We at Canterbury BID have 2 mailing lists, one for My Canterbury, one for BID. And I do see a lot of benefit in a newsletter, but it's not something that we're rolling out at the moment. But it has got potential as something that we can do in the future. For now, I will be sending out emails wherever sort of opportunities are coming up to encourage everyone to send content over to us. So through various groups, I will be in contact about that, and especially when we've got those campaigns coming through. That's really important. One other thing, and Lisa, I don't think we've touched on this yet, is advertising. One thing that we might consider in the future, and it's not set in stone, but it is a possibility, is that we could offer an advertising package, which might include a banner, it might include a blog post, dedicated blog post about something that you're doing, and it could include some social media posts on our channels as well. It's something that we don't want to throw ourselves into just yet, because we're still sort of, we're making sure our foundations are nice and strong. But I just wanted to highlight that as a possibility in the future. And if anyone has any thoughts on whether that's a good or a bad idea, that, you know, please do put your hand up and give me your opinions, because we're, you know, the most important thing for us is making sure that we're representing Canterbury well, and that we're highlighting really good, high quality things. But I am also aware that, you know, having a marketing opportunity on a website like Visit Canterbury, where we're getting thousands and thousands of visitors coming through, may well be something that our businesses want to make the most of. So if you have, oh, Sandra, hands up. Yeah,
Just two things.
go for it.
One thing that Visit Canterbury did once is they had like a regular competition. So for the hoteliers, they could put together a night stay, maybe alongside a restaurant. So both the restaurant and the hotel get promoted. If there was enough interest, possibly you could do something like that. It might entice people to enter. On the email sort of newsletter side, I remember when, before Catherine left, I asked a few times, because over the years, and it takes years and years to build up data, Visit Canterbury had a really large size database where they used to send out newsletters. So obviously when Canterbury City Council ceased the tourism department, that was one thing I did say to Catherine, you know, we need to make sure that data is used by the BID or whoever at that point, you know, takes over. So it would be a real shame if that database just got lost, because that was built up over many years, and they're guests that have actually, you know, visitors that have actually visited Canterbury over however many years. So if there's any way, I know you obviously, we have to think of data protection, but if there's any way that you could get hold of that list, then you'll have something to start with. You know, you might have 10,000, you know, even if you just send out almost, I think on .mail, MailChimp, you can kind of just send a very sort of brief newsletter, just say, would you like to opt in, and just asking them if they would like to opt in. I mean, it might mean that you go from 10,000 down to 2,000, but at least you've then got 2,000 people interested. So if you're a little bit nervy about sending a newsletter out to those people because they haven't been communicated to for 2 years, so I would have a look into, I would speak to the council and try and get that, because I think otherwise it'd be a shame. So.
I didn't realise it was so large, actually, so that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll have a chat. But yeah, well, definitely. Thank you, Sandra.
Otherwise, you're just starting all again, aren't you? So.
Exactly. I do remember, and I love the idea of a competition. I always love a competition. So maybe we can put a opportunity out and see who would like to get involved in that. But it could be depending on how many businesses or hoteliers or restaurants want to be involved, then it could be something that we could schedule once every 3 months as a way of getting more people to sign up to a newsletter, or just to help promote those particular businesses. That's a great idea. Thank you very much, Sandra. Plenty for me to think about here. Great. Right. Would anyone else like to add anything to the discussion? Otherwise, I think we will leave it. Oh, Lou?
Hello, hi. Just a quick question. I'm sorry I was late. I was trying desperately to log in and it wouldn't let me.
Oh, sorry about that.
So if I could stay on afterwards and just catch up. But very quick question about hashtags. You were talking about Instagram and TikTok. Have you got any particular hashtags that you would like us to follow or use that you are particularly keen on?
Oh, that's a really good question. And I'm going to that would have been a Sinead question, and she's not here.
No problem. You can come back to
Yeah.
us later.
I think
Thought.
maybe the best thing is because a lot of them are campaign specific, especially so then it links through to the Visit Kent campaigns as well. So we've got that sort of lovely amplification. So I think it might be more that I need to send something out to everyone as a kind
And
of
a newsletter. A newsletter.
a newsletter. There we go.
Any special campaigns to add for this? And
Yeah,
using hashtags. Yeah. No, it's been
Definitely.
very informative. I'm sorry I missed the first bit.
That's fine.
Right,
I'm
okay.
gonna leave you with a fun fact, because this is something that I think is quite exciting for this year. And I was informed by someone at the cathedral in the archives department, so it must be true. But it's the 450th anniversary of the visit of Queen Elizabeth I, who came on a tour of Kent in September. She did a tour of the whole of Kent and spent 2 weeks in Canterbury and spent her 40th birthday here 450 years ago. Apparently she was staying on the site, the royal palace that would have been St Augustine's Abbey, and she had a huge banquet on the 7th of September 450 years ago, I think on the cathedral site, Sandra. So what I'm thinking is we should have a really huge Tudor banquet on the 7th of September with a lookalike Queen Elizabeth. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Anyway,
I would love that. You must come back to me about that. That sounds awesome. I can visualize it.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be
Brilliant.
epic. There we go.
Rachel, could I add to something you said?
Of course.
Done things on social media.
Yeah.
Positions where they have to give an answer seem to be most effective. And you talking about Queen Elizabeth's visit made me think that there's loads of opportunities for questions that might promote interaction between our users.
Yes, yes.
Last year we had an afternoon tea with the Queen at Howfield, and we had and everything. And it's just lovely to get people commenting, whether it's having visited the hotel or, you know, what they're doing in Canterbury. And one of the competitions we had at another business, we got something like, I think, 3,000 comments or something, but it seems to be like, you talk about amplification. Once you start and someone has an idea, it kind of promotes other people to talk and to think about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think you're so right. People like to be able to answer a question. You know,
and if there's any Queen Elizabeth cutouts that you could get, we found it's really effective that people like to have their. In fact, unfortunately, she got broken because one of the wedding parties liked her so much they took her onto the dance floor.
Oh,
they were enjoying it, but she didn't last as long as we'd hoped.
Oh, but that was brilliant. You had the Queen at a wedding, you know. That's
we have got pictures.
Fantastic. Yeah, I love anything to do with you know, just a fun fact that you can throw in and build things around. We had Kate and William doing the royal visit. Yes, for the Jubilee.
And it's just because I found that the more you can encourage people to talk, the more they remember. You know, they visited Canterbury and they did X, Y, and Z, and they talked to their friends about it. You do the same thing.
It's a great idea. Yes, thank you. Okay, right. Well, we'll have a think about that as well. So ways of sort of interacting a bit more on the socials, get everyone chatting about it and sharing memories. I think that's great. Thank you.
The best thing I saw, sadly, was a hotel up north where someone hadn't paid the bill. I think he had 30,000 shares. Because I wouldn't have done that personally myself, because you could have gone either way. But he had a phenomenal number of shares because people were just appalled by the way they've been treated. That's
such a good point, because I think everyone wants to support. You know, when something outrageous has happened, then everyone likes to sort of get involved and show support for the person who's been
or for a business who maybe suffers something that, you know, what you do back to get them back on their feet.
Absolutely. That's great. Okay, lots of things that we can potentially do, although I don't want there to be a story of someone not paying a bill. Let's hope that doesn't happen to anyone. Thank you. Thanks, Jennifer. Great. Lisa, have you got anything else to add?
just thank you very much. Really useful session, and we'll definitely keep in touch and be in touch about campaigns and hashtags and other details in the coming weeks.
Yeah, thank you. We're almost bang on time finishing as well. So thank you for your time.
Happy Valentine. Take care, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Thanks.
Hello.